Right guys, welcome to a new video. So we're going to breaking down today's trades. Real good day in the trading room today. Had a real good game plan this morning. Just one of those days where, just where everything kind of works out. You don't get them often. And even on those days, you don't always, you might not always get, the full targets. I actually went in today with 12 micros instead of my standard 21, 3 lots of 7 on the ES. But we had our entry this morning. I wanted to see if we could get back above 4,406, which was acting as a pivot all last week, which I'm going to go over in a second. I'll show you. I had this line on here, and then we got that double confirmation. So I entered a bit naked here, a bit prematurely, but it was in confluence with other indicators on the higher time frame. Wanted to see if we got back above 4,406. We did with displacement expansion above these previous highs, which was good. We then created a nice 50% from high to low, which was right at my 406 double confirmation area. And then we got 15, 16 points on the ES. It did ultimately go up about another 10 points. But you can't get them all. I was going to leave 2 contracts on, but I got into a NQ trade and I wanted to basically manage that the most effectively I could. This was going along on the NQ on a level that I'm going to show you in a second. It did bid at that level. We got literally 1 tick away from my profit target. It then ATR down on me. When we got back up into range around 20 points, I took it off. It did ultimately take the highs and then obviously a stop hunt here. So anyone that was shorting down here, buy stops got taken, and then obviously now lows have been taken. So that was today's trades. I will just show you the other screen so you can see the profit and some of the room. So you can see in here we're up 1,074 on the day, basically just 2 trades on the day, those trades that you've seen. I'll bring up my R trader so you can see. So you can see here on my R trader, so we took 13 trades, 13 wins, 100% win rate, and like I say, $18 on commissions and 1,055 profit. So just going through some of the chat this morning. So we did a bit of a morning game plan. You see Phil loving the commentary. So I'm just gonna say I'm really appreciative. I've actually had several people just go back onto the welcome page. You can just see on here, several people jump into the room over today and yesterday. A lot of people joining on the yearly membership. Most people joining on the yearly membership. So all of these, in fact, yeah. So all the blues are people joining on the yearly membership. So just really happy to have people, coming back to the room, because I think sometimes people will join a room and not give it maybe the full dedication and sort of concentration that they do. But it's always nice to have a couple of people come back, happy to be back. Good to be back. So it's just nice to have that, because sometimes it's difficult trying to find a decent room, a decent sort of educator, but it's nice to have that confirmation, people coming back. So, but we'll go over to the other screen. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of say I'm really appreciative of people joining the room. On a yearly basis, it works out to be about $64 a month on the yearly plan, which is about £2.23 a day. It's next to nothing for the value that we provide in the room. So I'll just do a quick rundown of what we spoke about on the game plan this morning. But daily time frame on the NQ, we do have this gap from the contractual change that I'm not expecting to get filled anytime soon. It might get filled in the future. We have this 50% retracement. We have traded the 100% extension of that move. We have come down to the 20-day 50% midpoint, which is our current swing high to low, tagged perfectly. If we go to our 30-minute or hourly time frame on the NQ, last week we had our hourly pivot, bounced off 160 points, rejection back above, halfway back short on the week, which was here. Rejection, come back up, rejection, back up into that range. So now we're at this sort of, pivotal point on the NQ. I've had this marked out 15,130 and all the way down to 15K. So a bit of a small range. We've come right up into ATRs for the day and we reject right at that level. The ATRs is my own custom indicator that the members who have purchased the CMP Masterclass course, or just the indicators package on its own. But you can just see how the ATR, in fact, I'm going to alert the members in the room on that ATR expansion down. Such a great tool to have in your toolkit. Just an amazing, ATR highs, take those highs and then just look at that expansion down. So But that was a bit of the rundown. And then today's trade that we took was really simple. You had this 50% long here, which was basically your traditional regular trading hours. So RTH low to high came down to the 50% retracement of this range. We then actually completed the negative 23 of that. The negative 23 of this move here, which was from yesterday's low to high. We tagged the 38% retracement pre-market and overnight. We completed the negative 23. So that was the trade that we were taking today. Pretty simple trade. I even said to the members, I don't trust this low because that was VWAP. So that's why I also scalped my 20 points and didn't hold till targets. We ultimately did go to obviously high of day, but I said to everyone, I think this was VWAP. I don't use VWAP, but I had it on my screen and it came down to VWAP. And I said to everyone, I think this is probably going to be an easy stop hunt for price to come down to. And you can see right now we are coming right down to that price. So not something that I took, but you did have divergence between the NQ and the ES. I believe the ES was making a higher high, whilst the NQ at the time was making a lower high. So just 1 second. Yeah, we were making a lower high and we did take out the high. Then ultimately we've come down. So that was the trades today on the NQ. You can see here we have taken these pivots were marked pre-market down at 6 o'clock. And you can see here we came right into a nice 38% retracement, tagged the extension target at the negative 23. We were also playing off the cash and the indices levels as well. So yesterday we had on screen, all in the room, we came down to the 359s on the QQQ, expanded all the way up to the negative 60, negative 62 and negative 100. If you watch yesterday's video, you'll understand we were saying from 358 all the way to 362 is 4 points, and that was a 160 point trade that we had yesterday. I can just bring up that trade from yesterday. So that was this trade here. Okay, so that was yesterday's trade, playing off those levels. And today, like I said to everyone in the room, we did come down to this 38% retracement and also on the ES and this 435 support and also 365 resistance on the QQQ, which if I bring over my other screen, you'll see why I was paying attention to the QQQ at 366. Because I feel like this is the potential resistance for the day, and we have come right up to 366 on the day, and we have sold off nearly 3 points. So the reason I said QQQ 360 is basically because you can see on the weekly, if you look at the weekly, we have here 1 second. So for today, Wednesday, 366 and 355, a lot of calls up here. So I was expecting this to be resistance. And on the week, you can see here 365. So I was expecting this to be some heavy resistance at this level, and also on the SPY as well. So let's have a look at the SPY. So you've got that 430 support potential floor, and then you've got obviously resistance up in here at 435. And if we just look at the SPY and the, you can see here SPY at that level, 435, and the QQQs came right up into 366, and literally a 2.5 point rejection from that, which will be about 100 points on the NQ. And we can have a look at that right now. That 100 point drop from the NQ from low to high, you can see here 140 points. So that's playing off those cash and those indices. They're the derivatives of the actual futures market for the NASDAQ. For the ES, quickly run through. So same sort of thing, what we were looking at, we had this break and retest of this demand zone here, broke out, retest of that level, and then expansion higher. Same on the daily, we weren't expecting these gap fills to get taken. We were one time framing down, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Yesterday we broke the high. On the NQ, we were one time framing down, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. We failed to break yesterday, and then today we have taken that high. So we'll see if we continue but just going back to ES in terms of the 406 pivot, which was basically from last week's, the move before the previous high. The previous high before the move, acted as support and resistance last week. We came back into that level yesterday. I took the high to low. We came down into the 30% retracement, also daily discount in terms of our ATR for the day. and we have expanded targets. If you go onto the 5-minute time frame, you'll be able to see this a little bit cleaner. We had yesterday's trade came down into the 62, and this was traded all day very aggressively, high to high extension. So from the 935 high to high, we traded it once to targets, we traded it twice to targets, and we traded it a third time to targets, and then we ultimately sold off. So you can see here we bid at the 38, didn't complete targets on the third one. These sequences then broke overnight, and then basically we held the high to high 62% retracement, and we came close to completing, but we have taken out these highs and gunning lower for these lower prices, which has been another 62% retracement. So we'll see if we catch a bid here or not, but either way, I will be away from the screens. But that was a bit of a rundown from today's trade and some of yesterday's trades. Hopefully that's been useful, and I will see you all in the next video.